I'll say that Quincy crew did a nice thing in this game with the draft, where they swapped the Razor to 5 and the Tiny to 3, which I think was actually good. I must say that I don't like their tricore that much on Quincy crew in this particular game. We can just go through. EG banned Timber again. They banned Timber Dawn. First pick Marcy. Viper Puck banned by Quincy crew. Then they pick Tiny Razor. I think this Nature's Prophet response is nice because when you see these flex heroes on 6-7, you want to answer them in multiple ways. You don't just want to pick a hero that's good against them in one lane. You want to pick a hero that is going to be good against them in the lane, but also in the game, because they can just swap the hero away from the lane, right? That's the strength of Razor versus Nature's Prophet. But the thing is, even if Nature's Prophet doesn't lane against Razor, he's good against him in the game with Sprout, and he's very good against him in the game because you can always collapse on the Razor in the early game. TP Treants, TP ult, etc. And offlane Razor is horrible against Nature's Prophet. You lose that lane all the time. It's basically impossible to link Nature's Prophet. There's summons you don't deal with and so on. So just I would say both teams are pretty happy with their opening. Now it's just about how you continue in the draft to go about it. Again, I'm not gonna go too much into the bans. It's gonna take a lot of time, and I don't think that anything crazy was really happening in the bans. I think the bans were kind of decent by Quincy crew. They wanted to like ban these 5 many supports, but I feel like they left out Dazzle. Like the Chen, Winter Wyvern, Phoenix. I guess like the Phoenix is good against Phoenix is kind of good against all these heroes. Tiny, Razor, Ench. You know, minus attack speed, Sunray, they all don't like to hit egg. I guess Winter Wyvern is okay too, but I feel like that this Dazzle should have had a higher priority over one of these. They go Ench 15. I particularly wouldn't say that this is an amazing Ench game. It lanes well against Nature's Prophet, but I think that's about it. I mean, it's just overall a good hero, so I can't really blame them for it. Here, Quincy crew, 18 pick, they go for TA, and I feel like this is a bit of the problem that they had in the first game. That Razor and TA are just very similar heroes. So I feel like if this Razor is a core, you already don't feel good about it. So I think here, when you pick the TA, you probably already know that the Tiny is your core, right? Like Razor, TA, they're basically the same hero, single target, slow single target heroes that need BKB and only deal damage to people that are stunned. So, and your Razor doesn't lane well into Nature's Prophet. So I think here it's kind of smart already by Quincy crew. Jammy. So I think it's smart here by Quincy crew already to put the Tiny either into mid or off lane with the intention of having Razor as a support. In my opinion, it's already good here. I wouldn't say that I like the TA that much. I feel like you could have picked better heroes that have better timings, like TB for instance. But I think TA is fine. Swapping the Tiny away later, as you will see, I think is good too. And let's see how the draft continues. EG last pick, I think a really fucking good hero. Which probably should have been banned. I think Bad Rider was a really good ban for Quincy. Bad Rider shits on all these heroes. He shits on TA, he shits on Inch, on Razor, on Tiny. And it's kind of also a hero that they very likely would have picked from middle. Because generally speaking, Nightfall plays Mars, but I think they did a swapperoo. I think this DP pick is insanely good. And also, if Bad wasn't banned, I think Quincy would have last picked it themselves. This is an insane Bad Rider game. And yeah, I think that this DP pick is just insanely good because you have DP with like a lot of heroes that go in for you. You have Mars and Marcy that go in for you. You have Marcy that can save you, and you have Dazzle, Heal, and Crave to play with against this lineup that has like very weird damage. Like when you run in with Ghosts and Siphons, I feel like all these heroes need to run away from you, and they also don't have the highest chance of bursting you. Sure, there's a tiny combo, maybe a Razor Q and an Impetus, but that's about it. So I think this DP pick was one of the best they could go for. Quincy's last pick is Zeus, which I would say is pretty good against the EG's lineup. But the problem is if EG ever get the jump, then the fight is over for Quincy as long as EG kill any core. Because when they go in with Arena and EXO, I don't see how you respond on Quincy. I feel like the response for you is going to be to run away because you don't have these cores that buy BKBs and fight back. Sure, the TA does that, but Zeus, if he gets caught, he's dead. If Tiny's in the arena, he's gonna die. And I feel like the Tricore, I think this lineup from Quincy is a lot better than the first games, than in the first game, but I think their support duo is not great, and their Tricore is just, I can't truly put this one into words exactly, but I feel like their Tricore is lacking something. They don't play that well off of each other. I guess like Tiny Zeus, they play well off of each other, sure, but they don't have the supports to back it up too. So like there's something, even though this draft is better, I would way prefer to be EG's draft, sure. I'm maybe a bit biased. I know that EG are winning this game, but just when I see DP, we can just take away even Arteezy's hero. Okay, if we don't see that this is a Nature's Prophet carry, I feel like this Marcy Mars Dazzle DP is gonna have a really good time against this Quincy against the Quincy crew heroes because they deal very slow damage. Like you can say, sure, there's Tiny Zeus, they deal a lot of burst damage, but if they don't kill in those spells, these heroes aren't gonna die because Razor and TA are like very linear slow damage, right? Like Tiny blows his combo, Zeus is gonna ult, and if that doesn't give you like a really great kill, then I think the fight is gonna be hard because you're fighting into Arena, Marcy save, Dazzle heal Grave, and a tanky DP. And the problem is you're not gonna burst Mars or DP with Tiny Zeus combo, right? But let's go into the game because this game was more enjoyable in my opinion to watch. I saw some of it from bed. The first game I didn't really see it all. So again, I think the swapping around the Razor to not be a core is smart in this game because it actually gives them a win condition on the top lane. I think Ench Tiny can do really well in the lane. You can enchant the Treants, they're really strong. You can have Tree Grab, obviously very strong. I think mid lane, Mars Zeus, probably slightly Zeus favored. Zeus just seems to be winning most of the lanes that the hero plays into. Bottom lane, TA Razor versus DP Marcy. I don't really know how this lane goes. I guess it's maybe slightly, it's probably EG favored because they never have any condition to do much to the DP and Marcy is just super strong. I like what Fada does here. I think this is a very underrated aspect of what you can do as a +5 in the lane, is that you start on the side where the core is. Or you start on the side of the hero that you want to aggress on. So he starts on the right side from the trees, to link the DP. When you're safe lane, oftentimes what you want to do is you start here and you attack from the side because this way it's really awkward for the enemy team to like fight back against you with two heroes. So here he linked 20 damage off of the DP and he forced Marcy to use spells on him. So I think here just something cute to note where you can start in the lane depending on which hero you want to aggress on. Then you have top lane is Dazzle, Nature's Prophet. I believe that EG should win this lane, but there's a chance that they can lose depending on how well I think Quincy crew played this lane. So as you can see, he's hiding the Treants from the enchant, so maybe this is just already one of the reasons why this is not that good. So Arteezy goes for a Blightstone, which kind of goes to show that they think you can win this lane. Even though I think Tread Rush or maybe Magic Wand would be better. I mean, it depends. I think Blightstone works if you think you can win this lane. But what happens here is just the classic, you get level 2 on a hero, the enemy doesn't expect it, Arteezy is not playing at full HP, he's missing 130 HP plus turning around to get a CS while tanking 3 melee creeps, so he's just kind of getting punished. Let his skills avalanche, he gets enchanted, gets first blooded, so well played by Quincy. I think we can skip ahead in the early game a bit, because again, most importantly, after the lanes are over, are the rotations on the game that I want to showcase. 2 levels link, Fada being a bit annoying. They're sharing a lot of XP top. So yeah, let's go ahead in the early game. They go on Razor. He's tanking a lot. He does end up dying, but to be fair, I don't think that death was all that bad. That's 3 spells on Marcy, 2 spells on DP, and like all their mana pools. And I think Yawar is kind of happy in this lane. Maybe not happy, but he's doing good. They get another kill top with Zeus's ult, so Quincy are playing really well through this top lane. It already goes to show you that swapping the Razor away from here was definitely very good. Pops a double mango, tries to go on Dazzle. I think that was a bit too much. Like, that was actually a very costly play for Lelis. He uses so he has a perfect lane positioning and 2 mangoes, so he uses 2 mangoes to use his combo. And Nature's Prophet is respawning, so after you use this combo and the Prophet TPs, he actually has to TP base, so he kind of ruins his game a little. I wouldn't say ruin, but he definitely slowed down his game here by quite a lot, plus he gave Arteezy a small comeback in the lane. So not the best play by him, but you know, mistakes happen. As this time around, there's actually a bit of a difference in terms of the mid lane. Nice job by Mojo. You know, basically, I think Quincy realized after the first game that it's more important to camp these runes and you know be more aware. They for sure should have laned Razor top and Inch bot. No, they should not. Razor cannot lane into Nature's Prophet and this hero. So it would have been horrible if they do that. But yeah, so nice rune control by them. Actually, did they get the rune? Crit got the bottom rune, but you know, they contested top together. They got to kill an Abed, so this is good. So I think EG are super good about the early game. Like when they get these early towers and shit and the early moves going, that's really what they want. And I think they're one of the best. I wouldn't say that EG are the best team right now at like overall in the world, but something they do very well is collapsing, using the right amount of heroes and so on. I mean, if Razor is top, they care about Link even less. So yeah, what they're really good at is this, what we see here. I mean, this is one of the strengths also of carry Nature's Prophet. Ideally, he has TP here, than normal TP, so he doesn't have to TP here with Scroll. But they go bottom, they have a double wave pushed in with DP. He's level 6. Obviously, he doesn't have enough mana on Nightfall. But what's going to happen is that they go here. This is one of the reasons also why picking like these slow type heroes or having no heroes that can really defend this tower is very susceptible against a hero like Nature's Prophet. And again, it's a similar scenario as in the first game. If you leave this lane for a little bit, nothing is really going to happen, right? Tiny's going to kill some creeps. But if the Nature's Prophet goes somewhere, the tower dies. So now they give the bottom lane to Arteezy, so he can recover a bit because his early laning stage wasn't too good. He pulled himself this wave. I kind of like that. And Nightfall TP's base, and now look what they did. They're doing a similar move as to the first game, where they're gonna collapse on mid again with like 3-4 heroes. They're just leaving this lane open because they don't want anyone to be there, and again, if they leave it, not much is gonna happen. So now they connect their two strongest heroes with DP ult and Mars Arena, so this is very good. They catch him. I'm not sure, can Zeus jump out of it? Like, does he have to bop into the arena first and then jump out through the one he bopped into? Because this looks like he just gets pushed out. So here they have a nice smoke. He goes in with the arena spear. He dies. So you can't get out at all. Yeah, so Mars is very good against Zeus. So now, again, like I think really nice hero split that they go for. MSS is doing a good job though by using his skeleton top. Without this creep, this top tower wouldn't die, I think, and then EG could even look to defend it after. But anyway, good rotation by EG, like a good smoke to go for the kill here. Quincy are defending their tower. I think Quincy are pretty happy with defending this tower. Fada dies, but who cares? They defend it. I think Lelis should not have TP'd mid in this play. I think he should have stayed top. It might feel good to defend this, and I've been in this situation before where you're like, oh yeah, if I TP mid, we're gonna kill them. But the objective here is to hold the tower, not like go here and get kills. He should take the last hit on this tower, he should farm this wave, he should farm this camp, and then kill the next wave. Because this tower is already getting defended by Glyph. Like the tower is pretty much getting defended by Glyph and the Razor Q, and now Zeus respawning and Yawar being here. So I think the Tiny was not needed here, but good job by Quincy to defend the tower. Now similar story to the last game where Arteezy knows that there's not enough heroes, so he TP's top to get the incoming wave, and now he uses treants to push the wave. This is very good. If you play a summon hero and you're afraid that you can potentially be in risk, so don't be there, because you know Lelis was waiting here to kill him. Nice job by Arteezy just to be patient. And you get to push out the wave yourself. Now he TPs into the triangle. If you guys watch my Nature's Prophet guide, it's very nice to go here as Nature's Prophet, whether you're offlane or carry. You push out waves, you TP here at like 30, 40, 50 seconds, and you can farm the camps 2 times or stack them. He probably doesn't want to stack because actually farming a stack that early on is not that easy. But anyway, you know, he farms hard camp, farms ancients by the time this is done, farms the hard camp. And let's look at the rotations again from EG. I would say that EG are not a scripted team, but you can very often understand what their next play is going to be, because I think they play very... I would say it's one of their strengths, but also one of their weaknesses, is that EG mostly go for good plays when they have objective lineups, but they're also very telegraphed in terms of what they do. So here, again, what they're going to do is defend their lanes, apply pressure when they can, and when they have their spells ready, aka Ghost plus Arena, they're gonna look to use them together again. Right, so like here, mid tower, Arteezy's been sending treants at it to get it low. I think Quinn made a pretty big mess up here. I think Quinn is probably the best player in this team. Probably one of the best in the world, in my opinion. But dying like this is definitely a big mistake, and it's kind of unlike him. He's usually very good about this. Like here, he just gets rebound. I mean, the cast range is so dumb on this spell, because he gets caught and he's basically gonna die, because the tower is so low that it will die eventually. You're not really gonna def it. So again, they get the arena spear. I mean, basically, Crit got that whole kill on his own, right? They use Ghost to kill. Fada in the meantime gets to push a bottom lane. This is very nice to do. If there's an objective you can't defend, you want to push out the side lanes as much as you can, not only to get XP and gold yourself, but also now he's going to force them to come here and defend it. So now what is kind of the next play? They use all their spells, but they do have Mars Blink, which means very soon they're going to look for another play with the... Probably they're going to camp the rune. Maybe after they get the rune, they can look for a smoke play to get a guy killed. In the meantime, you have Nature's Prophet farming the triangle, as we talked about before already. EG are just, again, using their heroes very well, I think. Yeah, I would say that EG are just very methodical about how they control and how they place the heroes in the map. They go on Fada here, they get a freebie. Nothing too crazy. In the meantime, you know, Lelis, he's getting to farm his Blink, so he's happy. I think Quincy are pretty happy with what's going on here. So they go for a 3-man smoke. And I think it's important to note that sometimes when you miss spells or when you miss heroes, it's important that you don't go too deep. The deeper you go, the easier it is for the enemy to respond and the harder it is for you to get out, especially if the kill doesn't happen fast, right? If it's a slow kill, it means the enemy team can respond. So they go into the enemy triangle, but I think this was just a very nice play, if I'm not mistaken. So they go on the TA here, they catch him. I feel like Quincy could maybe have been a little bit closer to this. So they kill TA. I think someone needs to be breaking for him here. So they kill him. Marcy gets to TP out, but somehow the return play by Quincy here was really good. I feel like they could have all looked to just like TP out or some shit. But anyway, you know, there's some traps going around, so nice job with the trap usage by Yawar. Nightfall is kind of running to help when I think he should just be getting the fuck out. Like he should really be getting the fuck out earlier. He shouldn't die in this play. So it's a nice return by Quincy, but in my opinion, this is gonna happen a lot of the times when you smoke like this. First of all, someone could have broke the smoke, and then, like I said, if you're this deep, it's very easy to turn it around. Now they go for a counter smoke. I think this is very good, just to like get out on the map. You're up 2k gold. Your lanes are not amazing, but they're okay. But you have 4 people dead who are now gonna respawn. Like this play was very likely to hit the Nature's Prophet. Nice awareness of Arteezy to not die in this play. I think a lot of people would have died there. So nice job by them. Quincy also leave a ward behind. Active rune. Abed is gonna get it, because I think whenever EG have their spells together, whenever EG have Arena plus goals and they start the fight, they're gonna win every fight. Even now when they're behind in gold, they will win. And their best jump will always be Zeus. I feel like Zeus is the only condition for Radiant to win one of these fights in a longer manner. Like if EG go first, what you want to do is kill Zeus. If Quincy start the fight on you and this Tiny jumps in, you want to kill this Tiny always, because you don't want to allow the Tiny to like come in a second time. So Nightfall is going to get his BKB, which is going to make him fairly invincible. Yeah, when the TA has Deso, he can kind of hit back. But TA versus DP is also kind of the matchup where, sure, you have Deso and you can kill the DP when he has BKB, because you have high physical damage. But it's also very hard oftentimes for you to man up and do it, because you get overwhelmed by Siphon, Ghost, and like any other stun that the DP just overpowers you. So here again, let's look at how they use their heroes right now. EG are gonna kind of flip it around, where they want to play Arteezy bottom, because it's similar to what Abed did last game with the Ember. He's the most mobile hero and the one that can push out the lane the easiest with Shard and Treants, while they now want to play the top area, right? Like both teams are gonna look to play around Roche. TA wants Roche, DP Nature's Prophet wants Roche. So EG are gonna look to go together. Unlucky for them, DP is level 11. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty hard for him to be level 12, but it's a 1 EXO with BKB. They're gonna look to heal him up, and I think both teams are kind of ready around this area. You can see that Quincy are also playing in the right area, like around top. Yawar is gonna look to flash farm his Deso. There's a fight at the top rune. They go on MSS with EXO, but I think this just really didn't work out. Just nice response by Quincy. The best hero to get gone on is definitely MSS. I mean, he doesn't have heal or untouchable, but still. So they try to go on him. The trap is doing a lot, and I think here when Abed is about to initiate, they use Zeus ult. Like here, I think maybe it was a bit premature for Nightfall to use his spells like this, because it will increase the chance of Quinn using his ult here. But this ult by Quinn was just very good, because I think Abed was just about to like go in, get a 2-man arena on this tiny inch, and then they would have actually died to Nightfall with his ult and BKB. Because here they actually used BKB, EXO and everything and didn't get anything. And Quincy got the kill on Marcy, so just nice positioning by them, nice usage of spells. Lettuce is gonna go bottom. Like for now, it's just gonna be a farm fest until one team kind of smokes on the other and gets a kill, as they do here. And I think people need to be more careful about this mid, like this type of mid play. Maybe Quinn feels safe because like he's around, but to be fair, if they go on anyone, they're just dead, right? It doesn't matter that they're here. So nice jump by Abed. Arena, Bob, stun, gets him killed. So that's just one quick kill on the mid wave without even having vision. So just overall nice play. I think Abed was pretty beasting in this game. Arteezy is getting pretty fat, but to be fair, his hero isn't really doing much yet. And I must say that I feel like he could have built better items in this game. I don't mind the Midas Maelstrom. I feel like it's not amazing because the Maelstrom doesn't do much for his team yet. And I think he should turn it into a Gleipnir later, but I think so far EG are playing... to be fair, I think both teams are playing pretty well. Like this game is just a lot more competitive. I think again, this smoke is very obvious. Let's look at the map from the Radiance perspective. The map is not blocked, right? So here, like you see them here on this ward. There's a top rune. You push out mid wave, you see the DP. So they push out this wave, they instantly fog. I mean, EG are good about it. They do it pretty fast, but I think they're not showing on any traps. There's only Treants bottom. There's no one middle. You just pushed out top. I think you need to run back here, or someone needs to be here with you, because this death is... honestly, this kill was too easy and it shouldn't happen. And if this kill happens, there's a high chance you lose Roche on it. So I think you just need to be more aware of it. Luckily for you, they used the DP ult very early on. Nice arena by Abed here to catch these two heroes. So now they turned it from 1 kill into 3 kills. And they want to look to contest Roche. They have a DD on Abed for a bit more. I don't quite know if they actually end up getting it. So they try to go on Lelis here. Actually, an insane spear back. And he's gonna die as well. But it at least made them save Roche. 1 sec for... Okay. I mean, someone should test. Like, I feel like if you bop into one of the soldiers and then jump out, I feel like then you can jump out as Zeus. But yeah, EG, now that they use the spells, are gonna look to reset the map. Whereas Quincy, I think, kind of want to look for a play right now, because EXO is on cooldown. Arena will be up, but EXO is on cooldown and Nature still has no BKB. So I think it's good. Excuse me. It's very good by Quincy, I think, to realize this. In terms of item build, I don't know what you can build on Zeus this game to not get jumped. Maybe you need to... Maybe he had to go like Aether, Blink, Aghanims instead of playing on Kaya Sanj, because if he gets jumped, he's dead. I can see that point. But anyway, they smoke here. They place a nice ward instantly the moment they break. Lelis jumps in. They insta-kill Fly, which is like the best kill for them, so nice job by them. I feel that Fly should maybe not be the one to be here, but maybe they were caught with their pants down. Or if you do get caught here, you need to have buyback so that you can take this fight. And I think here, this is just kind of beautiful. Maybe this cast sounds like it's a bit biased to EG, I'm not trying to be. I think that this play has a very high chance of succeeding, but it also relies a little bit on the enemy team fucking up a bit. So you're Quincy here, you see the Dazzle is dead, you have very nice vision. And bottom lane is getting super pushed in. So here Quinn, he's gonna go bottom to push this out. But I think since you haven't seen anyone for so long, someone needs to break the smoke. Like this is a bit, in my opinion, this is like a bit illegal what happens here, how EG get to do this. It's a nice play by EG and a lot of good teams will try to make this move because bottom lane is pushing a lot, top is pushing a lot, mid is pushing a lot. You have a good smoke, you can always blink arena and try to steal because they have no BKBs available to like pick it up. But I think this smoke not breaking like here is already kind of illegal. And yeah, so Quinn TP's out to bottom. No one is breaking the smoke, so Abed gets to go as close as possible. Unlucky for Lelis, he gets bashed by Roche the moment he goes in. So he arena spears all of them, steals the Aegis on Mars. And bot tower is glyphed. Now Arteezy TP's into the fight. They kill Lelis and the Eng 2 and they stole Aegis, because I think this was a huge turning point for the game for Quincy crew if they get this done. Like, look, even Dota Plus gave them like a very high % chance to win. This should have been their ages to like get the game going. They were getting closer to the Razor BKB, to the TA's BKB. But I mean, sick play by EG to get it done. I think here, what was this fight? I feel like this was a Quincy favorite fight. This TA just dealing so much damage. That's actually not a Quincy favorite fight. It's one of the other fights. But yeah, I think we can fast forward a bit. Again, Arteezy is going to take to the triangle. He's going to farm this twice. He's buying AC, which I think is a great item in this game. I feel like for now, the name of the game is just EG is kind of beasting the game. I think they catch Quinn too much throughout the game. And I feel like this game was mainly won by the Mars and the DP, as here they overjumped the edge around the base. Good rotation by Quincy crew, I think, to kind of fight back. Do they have BKB yet on TA? No, they don't. I do think that Yawar is criminally underfarmed in this game with 10.6k net worth. I feel like he should have had his BKB already, like a couple minutes ago. But you know, some of the deaths and the Roche fights certainly don't help. Fada has his BKB now, so Quincy have like one of their timings again as mid lane. I didn't actually see what happened here. So they're sitting around mid. They have a trap here. Yeah, he's just farming the mid wave, kind of out of position. Gets called with his pants down by Marcy. I would like to point out that I like the itemization a lot by Crit with the medallion into Solar Crest. I think the Solar is super cool for your DP or Nature's Prophet when they go into the fight and they man up against either the Razor that's linking them or the TA. They used Exo, so now they're up 6k gold, no Aegis anymore. At this point, Quincy wanna wait for their BKB on Yawar to go look for a fight, and basically the condition for Quincy to win fights is that Quinn cannot get jumped first. They need Quinn to stay alive as long as possible, because he's their win condition throughout the fight. Like, once their BKBs break on EG, the Zeus will kill everyone if he gets to stay around, right? So here, EG were in a ward and some TA traps, so they're getting kind of caught. Dazzle dies. And also, this was the fight where EG like pressed 0 BKBs. I don't know what happened, you know, maybe, I mean, mistakes happen, obviously, so, you know, they kill, Dazzle dies, but they kill Lelis as soon as he jumps in. Here, he kind of just needs to BKB on Abed, but he's a bit too greedy with it. Nightfall is the only one who uses BKB, like Arteezy is kind of trying to run. I'm not sure why he's not just using BKB TP out. So he could have got out, like Abed could have got out, Arteezy could have got out instead. I mean, it's very good by Quincy to take this fight on their orbs and the traps, because, I mean, EG are heavily overplaying in this fight. Nice job by Nightfall to get out, so Quincy kind of bring the game back. It's fairly even. Roshan is respawning soon, so you'll see both teams play around there. I think here again, good catch by EG, but Quinn is definitely out of position here. He has no business going for this top rune when all he sees is this guy, and you're like, no one is showing here, no one is showing here. He's not supposed to die there. But yeah, I mean, EG again playing around runes. They have a good ward on the high ground. Next objective of the game is going to be Roche. So if you're both teams, I think that's what you need to be thinking about right now. Like saving buybacks, how you want to take the fight. Like if you're Quincy, how do you want to take the fight? The best thing Quincy can do is to like go around in the fight, smoke the Tiny, find the Dazzle, combo him, and kill him with Zeus ult. And then Zeus keeps playing in the back, and then try to abuse traps in the fight to like try to abuse Zeus vision and the TA traps for slows and vision in the fight, and then try to go around that. So now EG, you know, classic. They're gonna try to secure the Roche area with a lot of wards, play around it, maybe save some buybacks. They look for a pickup on the mid wave, which I think they're not gonna get. It's a very nice try, I think. Looking on this mid wave is very good, and I think they nearly had it. It's just a bit hard for Arteezy, I think, to TP in here if you do start. Because remember, he's a 21k net worth hero on our tour, but he still doesn't have the easiest time to actually take the fight if you go too deep. So now the fight does break out around mid. I'm not sure if they're still smoked. I think they're smoked right now. It's a replay bug that they're not smoked. Yeah, obviously he wouldn't be sitting here. So now Quincy are smoking into them like through the mid wave, which I think is a bit of a strange smoke. Maybe they were hoping to smoke towards bottom, or like to smoke to Arteezy and catch him, because they were maybe anticipating Quincy to be here. But you can see it how the fight starts. So Crit goes in, starts on the Razor, and he gets to just jump out with his rebound, very good by him. Whereas I would say Yawar is Let's just watch the fight and then see, because I think both teams are really messing up their spell usage here. So Lelis goes in, looks for a jump. He tries to get the Mars, but he misses. So Tiny misses his jump, Mars misses his jump. The only one who really did a good job in the start of the fight is Crit, who starts poking a bit on this Razor. Blink, dispose, then he rebounds away, and he forces the TA here to go. Because I think the TA does not want to lose position here. Unless your Tiny is going in and getting a good jump, I don't think the TA wants to jump in like this, because now he exposes his backline actually. When the DP does this, I think when he blinks in like this, they need to fight this guy together. Like you have the TA now chasing the backline, but he's really alone and he has to just BKB TP out. I mean, I guess Mars has to do the same. Never mind, he cancels his TP. Like here you have a bit of miscommunication, I think, from EG, if I remember correctly. I think Arteezy should have already been here in the fight. If he TPs earlier, he should be looking at the TA, in my opinion, who's over jumping here. You should be looking at the TA. And if you TP here with Arteezy, which he is, he cancels it though. He shouldn't cancel his TP. He should go, help his DP who is full Exo, has BKB. Dazzle is just waiting for his course to go in, because he could have cancelled his TP with Natures. Or he's going here to like sprout all of these, because this fight should be won. But I think Arteezy messed up. He cancelled his initial TP here. Wait, Yawar cancelled his TP? I didn't even realize this. Yeah, so he cancels his TP because he wants to keep fighting, but to be fair, he could have died there. Now this guy, the fight is just kind of like a clusterfuck, to be honest. But it happens. So now they re-go. Nice combo by Lelis. Like now the fight has gone so long that their BKBs are running out, and people are out of position, right? Like the fight has gone so long, Mars has no BKB, DP has no BKB, Natures has no BKB, Zeus is still alive, so they actually get to win the fight. So it turned out really nice for Quincy, and I do think they played it well with the spell usage, but that could have been pretty ugly for either side. Now you have buyback on Abed because he didn't want to give up Roche. They have a gem. Nice job by Quincy to just run in here. They run up with the Eng just to like break the line. Crit dies. So now the game's kind of getting flipped open again. And we need to look, like now the whole game is just about Roche. Like all these minutes, it's about Roche, it's about Roche, it's about Roche. Both teams just want to get it. Just run down through mid lane. They TP very aggressively. I think this was one of the first very aggressive moves we've seen from Arteezy this game, which I think is great. He should be using his hero / his body, I think, a lot more. They knew that they were roaching. Like he has Satanic, BKB, AC, and Dazzle. I feel like all these cores are very tanky, but they all need to do their job in tanking and dealing damage. So I like what Arteezy did in this fight. I think he should be doing it more to use his hero, and I think he should turn the Maelstrom into a Gleipnir, not into a Mjolnir, but anyway. Game continues, just gonna push waves with Treants, you know, you're not really gonna see anything too crazy. I think one of the next fights we need to highlight is one of the top fights we see, where the game actually goes pretty crazy. I think here EG are smoking bottom, kind of hoping for someone to go here. I would say it's a low chance play. Nice job by Quinn to bolt this, to know that, you know, they're gonna be there. The pipe on Dazzle, gonna help a lot against the Zeus damage. Now the Aegis was kinda, they waited out the Aegis. Let's see how EG got to a 4k gold lead. I think here they just get a free kill on Lelis, who tries to go first, but he gets caught by Arena Spear before he BKBs. Nightfall is gonna get all of his spells out. Buyback on Tiny, they traded for Exo, so Quincy probably gonna look for an aggressive move, whereas EG are gonna kind of chill. I think here, I feel like this was a really strange play by EG. When I watched it, remember, of course, it is a lot easier for us to see this. So Arteezy TP's bottom, and he's gonna hit the wave. He has Skadi. I mean, I don't know if this is what you want. I feel like you could buy more aggressive items in this game because you have Dazzle to back you up, DP going in with you, but whatever. He's very tanky, okay? That his item build isn't so important. What's important is that he's tanky with 3500 HP, Satanic BKB, and his team is coming. And the enemy team is going on him. I think he has to man up, which he is. You know, he uses BKB and Satanic. He should man up. He should sprout this guy, get full HP, and keep fighting. I don't know why he's TPing out. His entire team is coming. They have every spell. They have Refresher. Like right now, DP can blink. If he keeps manning up, his DP will blink, use Refresher, blink again, BKB, Exo, and fight. They also have Blink Arena on and BKB on Mars, and I think that Quincy are actually pretty out of position. Like, this Zeus is so exposed down here, and TA has no BKB that they should take this fight, but Arteezy TP's out, and I think he should just stay. They're not killing him right now. I guess he's a little bit afraid that he's gonna end up dying, but he has like 3 seconds left of BKB. He's gonna have 3500 HP by the time his BKB is over, and I think his entire team will clean up all of them. But anyway, he TP's out, now he's gonna look for a TP back in, and the fight is just very scattered. Like, the Zoo, like, now the Mars got owned here a bit, his team is getting owned here, because instead of them all running to their natures, they saw him TP out, so they already turned around and went on them. So, that was a little bit strange. I guess they did only lose Dazzle, but this should have cost them Roche. Actually, I don't know if it does cost them Roche, but it should have. Because now, Arteezy doesn't have BKB. Mars had to use Refresher BKB, and DP also had to use Refresher BKB because they were not on the same page there. So I think Quincy right now, it's goal time for them, and I think they know this too. They go here, they de-ward, good job by them. Yawar is gonna, you know, keep hitting down Roche. He's placing some good traps around the area. I think they should just focus on a Roche. You shouldn't get, like, I think, too caught by the stuff around unless you have a really good go. Like, I think you don't need to overreach here. As long as you're holding this area as Quincy, you should be happy. Like, I don't think you want to reach into here, because then your TA has a hard time reaching. I mean, actually, nice job by Crit with the headband plus lens to pull Fada up to the high ground. I didn't actually see that initially. And a nice spear back by Abed. Like, what EG want to do right now is just make time. As you can see, like, Quincy are fighting a little bit disjointed. Like, Yabar doesn't know if he wants to go in or not, and I can't really blame him. They use BKB on Tiny, kind of like they're kind of wasting the BKB on Tiny. Nice Grave and Pipe on Marcy. They're trying to use all their spells. Quinn has very good positioning in this fight, as you can see with his spells, and also he has an Arcane Rune. I mean, sick jump by Crit to bring him back. And the problem is just as soon as they catch Quinn once, he's just kind of dead. I think he should have maybe had a defensive item. The Lincolns is pretty cool. Arteezy gets to TP out barely. Nice try by Lettuce to cancel, but it's just a little bit too late. So they do use, I think, 1 or 2 buybacks in this fight on Quincy crew. They use Zeus Razor buyback. They get kills plus Roach, so sick buyback by Quinn. And overall a good fight for them. I mean, it was a bit costly with the buybacks, but good job by them. Still, I feel like Arteezy has too much gold. In my opinion, he could play more aggressive, maybe like look to play on a buyback in this fight, or in my opinion, he should also buy Gleipnir over Maelstrom to give them more catch. In my opinion, like what I was missing in this game is EG playing more aggressive in fights with Arteezy, where he TPs on the back with the Mars Arena and the DP Exo, and then he just mans up and fights them with like BKB, Satanic, Dazzle having, you know, Wave and Grave and shit like that. So here. Now, we need to look at what happened, right? Sick buybacks by Quincy. They have Aegis on Quinn, which is great. They give him the Aegis because he used buyback and he's mainly, you know, he's public enemy number 1. He's going to be the guy to die first. They give Cheese to Yawar and also Refresher to Quinn, so he's really strong. He's also level 27, so he's really starting to pop off. So where were we? I mean, this guy is getting really strong. He has Aegis, he has Refresher, completed Lincoln, so Marcy can't really jump him. So to be fair, the only one that can really catch Zeus at this point now is going to be Abed. Abed's already been playing really well, but he has some heavy lifting to do. So now, I would say that this is, at this point, kind of a notorious death already. It shouldn't happen, and it does, so whatever, you know. Nice play by EG, but this death is kind of handed to them on the silver platter. It's at the tier 3 of EG. Your Zeus is showing top, your Razor is showing mid. Yeah, I mean, your Zeus has bots, I get it. But if they just go on you here, which they do, you're just dead. So Yawar dies. They're up 5k gold, they have Aegis Cheese, and we die here. Nightfall goes in. Honestly, he's been playing really well. Like, he goes in, blinks, silence, 6 silence on the Zeus here. Also, nice job by Arteezy with the TP. They sprout him. They kill him once. Okay, TA buys back. So what happens? Marcy crit, he's gonna die, but he has buyback. They try to go on Zeus here. They nearly kill him, but I think they have a nice force staff on someone. Yeah, Lettuce has force in 1 second. Without this force, game is over. Quinn dies here, game is over without the force. Yawar buys back, comes back into the fight. Arteezy, he's trying to fight through it. He can't. He has buyback. Nightfall dies, he has buyback. Basically everyone dies, but they do have some buybacks available on their lineup. So now if you're EG, you're playing against Quincy. They used basically both teams are lacking, but there's no buybacks available in the game. The only one on Quincy who's buy is Eng. Obviously, you still have EG right now with Natures and DP who have buybacks. But so the win condition now is basically going to be whichever team kills the enemy core without a buyback is going to be able to win this game. So what's going to happen is that they're going to hit the space and okay, Abe didn't smoke himself, but he has Ninja Gear. Because I think the game-winning play right now, because the game's pretty even, you know, like the game, after these two guys buy back, Quincy is going to be up like 10k gold. So they get mid-racks for free. Nice job by them to kill it, you know, it's just Eng and Tia hitting it. Cool. They hit this top racks. Very nice. Two people are still dead, but I think here, again, you need to know that something is coming up. It's a little bit similar to this Roshan area, right? Where you just do Rosh and you're not really thinking about it. I think Fada's positioning is pretty good. He understands that he wants to have a ward out here in case they smoke around, and he wants to break the smoke. I think he's the only one who's really aware of what's happening or what could be happening. Because you're hitting these tier 3s, you see no one here, you see no one here, and no one here. So EG are up to something, and you know that they probably have buybacks, right? Like Arteezy's been farming, he has a lot of gold, he hasn't bought back. Nightfall has been playing very well, and a lot of gold, he's going to have buyback. So they're going Fada first, fine. I think this is okay by him. But what I want to point out is Abed being a fucking monster in this play. So they smoke around. I think we can look at it from his perspective. There's a lot of people who here are just gonna go on this fucking Razor. But he doesn't care about this Razor. He knows that what he needs to care about is something else. So he ninja gears himself again. And nobody is breaking for this Zeus anymore. Because Razor is already breaking and they're both going here on the subs. And this is honestly pretty beautiful. Now here, Nightfall goes in with like a two-man silence. Because Abed knows, like, where's the Zeus gonna be, right? They're hitting here. Zeus is gonna be like the furthest back in fog in vision. So he's gonna be in the trees here. So this is just beautiful play by EG, but especially Abed. Like this is the one we need to highlight. He's gonna go around. He runs in. He breaks to the TA. Again, he doesn't care about any of this hero. He just runs in. I mean, Quinn doesn't have a blink, right? He should probably have a blink in this game. Anyway, he arenas to kills all the trees. And to be fair, it doesn't matter that his arena spear misses the first one. All he does is need to give vision on Zeus. He spears, he refreshes arena spears again. The moment this Zeus dies, the game is over. Like now, I think this game is pretty much EG's to lose. They have Nature's Prophet level 25. He took the tree and stuff. I also think that Arteezy should not have dropped his boots this game. He should drop his Midas. In my opinion, you only play without boots on Prophet in late game if you take the other talent on 25, the CD. But just small things in my opinion that I didn't like so much. So now Zeus and Razor died without buybacks, but the biggest play of this entire game is Abed just being a Chad, running around here knowing that Zeus is going to be here, ignoring everything else and using Refresher ult just to kill him. Because that was the condition for them to win the game. And basically now the game's over. They cannot defend. They have two heroes alive, like dead without buyback. And there's too much pushing power with the DP and Nature's Prophet and Mars. So I think the MVP in this game for me was definitely Abed. He basically played offlane Mars. In my opinion, he played offlane Mars out of a hard lane against Zeus. I mean, I guess Quinn did kind of give them a few kills he shouldn't have. But Abed by far MVP of this game. He went always at the right times. He had sick arenas, sick spears, like sick everything, and I would say that both teams played pretty well in this game, but that EG just played better. They made less mistakes, I think, on EG. I also thought that Arteezy played really well in the first game, but I think this Nature's Prophet game, I mean, I would love to hear also what he thinks, but I think considering the proportion of impact to net worth, I think he didn't do enough in this game. And I think Quinn needed different items. I think he needed like Blink Dagger or Wind Waker as well, which would have helped him a lot. Because all he has to do is stay alive. It's hard, but that's what you need to itemize for. You need to stay alive to outlive the BKBs. And yeah, I think Arteezy should have looked to play more aggressive in this game because when your Abed started every fight, like right, Abed is gonna start every fight and DP is gonna blink in. So I think you should follow them. You should TP in aggressively, kill with them. Maybe buy an item that allows you to get a kill condition, like you buy a hex or you turn the Maelstrom into a Gleipnir and so on. Because I think he has like an in between. He has like a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of defensiveness, but I think he didn't really align that well with his team in this game on Nature's Prophet. Whereas I think when he played Luna, he was playing very well in the first game. But overall, there's going to be tiebreakers, and I think Quincy are going to be more prepared in those. The three-way tiebreaker in NA, I think tomorrow or whatever. So I think it's going to be a bit more of an even game, and EG won't get quite as much of these drafts that they want, where they get to ball up, run the towers together, have this sustain from Dazzle, from Fly, helping them against these heroes. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this quick review, because I'm going to take a short break now to eat some breakfast. And yeah, if you guys enjoy the content, feel free to follow, and see you on my stream.